When I left my home country, I found myself far away from my friends, my family, and my loved ones. So I was stuck to my phone, and I found myself sending a lot of these voice messages to them, because this was our link. This has become our link now. One of the first things that struck me when I fled my home country of Aleppo, Syria, and arrived to Armenia as a refugee was the sheer silence. And what I mean by silence was the lack of the warplanes, that noise, the helicopters, not the touristic helicopters. It was the ones that dropped explosives and bombs that rained on our neighbourhoods. That had become our norm. And this new peaceful silence, this was unsettling me, and I just didn't know what to make of it. But this was my new reality, and here I was trying to deal with this.
If you have the chance to be surrounded by refugees, think what you can learn from them, what their experience of their life, what is their cultural perspective and cultural background. Is that different from yours? Refugees can give so much in our societies. Not just be walking by the streets and the parks, but you can also start a discussion with them and drive innovation into your community. New cultural perspectives can enhance the community's fabric. Also, it can be encouraging to know that this person has traveled so far away to come to your country. You can exchange experiences, knowledge about any topic, about economic innovation, about new strategies, and also give you the chance to contribute to the community and the cultural vitality of their own communities.
I take minor refugees to play football. Football for them it's a way to forget, enjoy, have less stress and include them to society. But we do not have enough funds for them to enjoy something so simple.
My sexuality is why I've had to leave my home country to seek safety in Northern Ireland. This has also meant that I've had to rebuild my social connections from scratch. And my experience has been mixed, really. On one hand, it's been of welcoming acceptance, and I feel like queer spaces are also for us refugees. But then on the other hand, I've also been made to feel like I'm not quite the same as others in the room. The truth is that exclusion happens everywhere, even in LGBT spaces. I remember one evening out, I was having a chat with a group of people in a popular gay bar, and I noticed a shift in energy the moment they knew I was a refugee. It was subtle, but it was there. For me, it felt like I walked into an amusement park or Disneyland, and suddenly all the rides closed as soon as I arrived. Being queer does not automatically make one open to diversity in all its dimensions. So, this has taught me how to navigate making friends and forging relationships slowly. I've learned to slowly introduce refuginess as an identity into a conversation. As an African woman, feeling excluded is not unfamiliar, but I did not expect to encounter exclusion in a space that should feel like home. Queer refugees are doubly isolated because we are a minority within a minority. There is nothing like the safety and freedom I now have. Still, I'm yet to find my home. Well, that's how I feel right now. And I hope that changes soon.
Working with young refugees, I understood that their experiences are marked by significant trauma. They have faced war, displacement, loss of loved ones. I've also noticed that sometimes they may have behavioral issues, and this is because they still carry the trauma that they've experienced in their home countries, even if now they are in a safe place. This trauma can manifest through withdrawal, difficulty trusting others, sometimes aggression. So it's very important to always provide context when interpreting these behaviors. And I think more could be done to use trauma-informed interventions when working with young refugees to avoid interpreting these behaviors as inherent to the refugees' culture or personality.
They have traveled far from home and they left behind everything. They talk about feeling alone, being in a new place, they struggle to fit in, and they have these painful memories of their past. Many of them feel guilty for surviving when others didn't, and while their families and their friends might still be facing war back home. This makes them feel deeply traumatized by the war, and they carry this trauma with them every day. They are alone in a new place and they face many challenges. They have to learn the new language, they have to understand different cultures, and they find their place in a foreign land. And despite all this, they show great strength and resilience. They carry their experiences and their trauma, but they keep hoping for a future where they can feel at home and start new lives. They have no other choice.
Sau un alt exemplu vis-a-vis de ceea ce s-a întâmplat este legat chiar de limba ucraineană, că limba ucraineană este limba rusă de fapt. Dar nu este. Avem și litere și cuvinte diferite. Este ca și cazul limbii portugheze și spaniole. Da, sunt dintr-o familie, dar totuși sunt limbi diferite. Și cine m-a ajutat? Cum am depășit aceste situații? Comunicarea. Răspunsul este comunicare. Am dialogat deschis cu reprezentanții comunității locale, astfel ei au reușit să ne cunoască, să cunoască adevărul și percepția asupra noastră. S-a schimbat foarte mult. Și ca recomandare, să nu vă fie frică să vorbiți despre problemele voastre și să nu vă fie frică să faceți cunoștință cu o altă cultură și cu alt popor, alți oameni.
Being in a war zone or a dangerous country doesn't allow people to think whether they're happy or not. Their goal is first and foremost to survive. Once refugees find themselves in a safe place, all the problems that they put aside for years start to come out. They finally have the luxury of thinking about their problems. This is why so many refugees find themselves in depression. It's also related to what we call a survivor's guilt. It can be extremely difficult to find ourselves in a safe place after spending years in an unusual situation. This is why once they found themselves in a good situation and have good conditions to live, they realize what they've been deprived of all this time.